All right, tonight is Chinese night. 3 ingredients. You got your chicken. I'm doing 3 bags. We like egg rolls on the side, so we got egg rolls. And rice is a main ingredient as well. This particular rice takes a little bit longer to make, rather than the minute rice, which looks like this. You can have that done quickly, within a minute. So we like to do this one because it has a little flavor. So I'm gonna start with getting the rice ready to go. All right, I'm gonna start with my rice. I'm preheating my oven to prepare my chicken. So that'll take about 20 minutes. So in the meantime, I'm gonna start my rice. I'm doing 2 boxes. So my ingredients, I'm gonna double them. So I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons of butter. And I'm not gonna do 4 cups of water, that's too much. I will do 3. So what I do is I get my skillet here on my burner, have it on about a medium heat. I'm gonna scoop out some butter. This is so the rice doesn't burn to the skillet. So I'm gonna get about good. So about that much butter. I'll let that heat up a little bit so I can roll it around, cover the whole bottom of the skillet, then I'll pour my rice in. All right, my butter is starting to melt, so I'm gonna cover the bottom of the pan with butter so my rice doesn't burn to it. Okay, so it's covered. Still got it on about a medium heat. So the directions on the back, it says, number 1, in a large skillet, combine the rice mix, which is just the rice, not the seasoning packet. So combine the rice and butter and saute over medium heat until the rice, that's what that vermicelli is, that's the rice, is golden brown. And I'll stir frequently. And then when that's done turning golden brown, which that'll take several minutes, that's when I'm put in the seasonings and water. So that's the seasonings. They don't go in yet. So I'm going to pour my rice in first, and I'm doing 2 boxes. So you can see it's like a bright white. So when it cooks, it starts to darken a little bit, turn a golden brown. Okay. So give that a little bit of time. And in the meantime, my oven's still preheating. I've got my chicken ready to go in. It's on a baking pan. That's 3 bags worth. That's a lot of chicken. But the directions say preheat my oven to 450. Place my chicken in a baking sheet in a single layer. And it'll cook, I'm going to go for about 15 minutes. My oven takes a little longer. So there's my oven just beeped saying you're good to go. So I'm going to put my phone down. All right, I got my oven ready to go. So when you cook in the oven, when you bake stuff, your heat comes from the bottom and it heats up. When you broil, it comes from the top. There's a heater up top and the heat comes from the top. So most everything you do in the oven will be baking and it'll come from the bottom. So we're going to shut that and give that 628. So about 15 minutes. 645 will be good. So you have a bake and you've got a broil. The broil comes from the top and it heats up fast. I rarely use that. Bake is what I do all the time. That's when you set your temperature. For broil, it's either high or low. You don't even set a temperature. You just click broil and start. And it, like I said, it heats up fast. So got my chicken in at 450. That'll take 15 minutes. And I'm getting my rice going. My egg rolls will go last. Let's see what they need. Let's see. Look up a conventional oven. There it is. So once again, it's 450. That's good because I've already got it on 450. It says line a cookie sheet with foil. That's not necessary. Just use a cookie sheet or baking sheet. I'm going to cook it, let's see, 12 to 15 minutes. So once my rice is done, about, no, I'm sorry, the chicken, at 6:45-ish, I'm going to put my egg rolls in. So I'll be eating about 7 o'clock. All right, I've let the rice and butter simmer for not quite 10 minutes. It's 6:37, so not quite 10 minutes. And I've been using a spatula to move it around every so often. You don't want it to stick to the bottom and burn, so you move it around. Spatula is easy. A fork would be too much work with this much rice. Okay, so now that it's brown, starting to brown, I'm going to pour in my water and seasoning. And then as the directions say, it's directions number 2, slowly stir in water and seasonings, bring to a boil. So you'll see the water bubbling. And once that happens, I'm going to cover it. Got my cover right there. So I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to reduce the heat to low. And I'm going to simmer it. Just let it simmer 15 to 20 minutes. So we're looking at about 7 o'clock. And right now I got it on 5. That's medium heat. I'm going to turn it down to low, let it simmer, which there is a low button, but I'm going to put it on about 2. Here's my seasoning mix. I'm going to pour that in with the water, which this cup is very important. You want to get a cup like this. These cups are 2 cups worth. So you can see my 2 cup. I got it a little over the 2 cup line because I'm going to use 3 cups. It suggests 4 total cups because I'm doing 2 of these boxes, but I'm only going to use 3. And also in the meantime, I've got my egg rolls ready to rock. Got to get them in the oven here. My chicken came with sweet and sour pouches, and these are easy. You just put these in a bowl of hot water. Just let them sit while you're making the food, and when you're done cooking, these will be ready to pour all over your chicken. And my egg rolls came with dipping sauce as well. Same thing. Just drop it in the bowl of hot water or a sink of hot water, and those will be ready to go. All right, so got my water here. I'm gonna pour this in. Okay, that was 2 cups. I'm gonna do an additional cup. Okay, so I got a third, not a third, I've got 3 total cups. All right, so water's done. Now I'm gonna break out my seasoning mix. Let's see, I'm gonna put you down for a second. Okay, I've opened my seasoning mix. Now I'm just going to pour this in as well. Make sure you get it all out there. Sometimes it sticks in the pouch. So there's that. Now I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit. I'm going to suggest low, so I'm going to turn it to about 2. And when this starts boiling, well, I guess I'm sorry, jump the gun. I'm going to leave it at 5 until it starts boiling. Then I turn it down, which you see, it's already starting to boil. So that's the step you want to get to. Then once you see that boiling happening, that's when you turn it down to 2 or low, depending on your oven or stovetop. And I'm going to cover it for about 20 minutes. So we're looking at about 7 o'clock. All right, once again, I've got my rice simmering at a low temperature. It's just simmering in there. It's going to do that for about 15 to 20 minutes. My oven is at 450 for the chicken, and that's what the egg rolls call for as well. So what I'm going to do now, I drop the chicken down to the lower level. It's baking. I'm going to go ahead and put my egg rolls in because it calls for the same temperature. Now make sure for hot pans, make sure you're using your oven mitt. So when I pull those out, got to use the oven mitt. So what I do here I like to turn the egg rolls halfway through cooking. So it calls for about 15 minutes. So, hey Google, set your timer for 8 minutes.
Got it. 8 minutes.
Okay, so once 8 minutes is up, I'm going to pull those egg rolls out, turn them over, let the other side cook for 7 to 8 minutes as well. So, and once those are done, I should pull the chicken out. I keep checking the chicken, and it looks good. So, we're right on track. All right, my 8-minute timer just went off. So I'm going to pull out these egg rolls, give them a turn so they cook on both sides. I just did it barehanded. Sometimes it's really hot, but I'm going to put them back in the oven for another 7-8 minutes. Check my chicken here. That's looking pretty good. Could probably use a few more minutes. All right, so that's still going. Got my rice still on that low temperature, and it's simmering. It's absorbing that water is what it's doing. So you shouldn't have water when you're done, and you gotta let it sit for 5 minutes after it cooks too. So yeah. All right, so my timer just went off. I'm getting my glove on. I'm gonna pull my egg rolls out. They're done. Looking really good. Probably time for the chicken to come out as well. That's looking good. I'm going to set this on the counter. All right, my next step, I'm going to shut the oven. I can go ahead and turn this off because we are done with the oven. Okay, so that's off. It is 7 o'clock. My rice should be done as well, so I'm just going to turn this off and get it off the heat. And it suggests letting it sit for about 5 minutes. Let that final water absorb into the rice. That way you're not having soggy rice. There's my egg rolls. I got my dipping sauce for the egg rolls. So what I'm going to do now is spatula all this chicken into my bowl here. Once it's all in, I'm going to pour these 3 pouches of sweet and sour sauce on them and give them a mix. And then that's your meal. You're going to do a bed of rice on your plate. Then you're going to spatula a bunch of sweet and sour chicken on top of that rice. That's your sweet and sour chicken. And then if you prefer a side, or if you like a side, some egg rolls top the meal off. I'll show you the final product in a second. All right, dinner's done. It is 7:10, just a little bit longer than I expected. So here's my rice. This is the flavored rice. This is what I prefer. You can do the white rice, and it's a little easier doing the white rice. There's a couple more steps involved with doing this flavored rice, but it's so good. My egg rolls look good. And then this is my chicken after I tossed it in the sweet and sour sauce. And then here's a plate of food. So you got your bed of rice with your sweet and sour chicken, egg rolls with some sauce on top, and that's the final product. Very easy meal to make.